is just fantastic. Captain's log, subdate 220317.4. Injectors installed. Operating system updated. Stocktake complete. Steaks cooking. Crew drawing vital schematics with crayons and cup holder attached to my chair. So what's our new heading? 6 days ago, Jussie Smollett, or Jussie Smollett, was sentenced to 5 months in prison. He was also sentenced to restitution charges, paying fines, whole plethora of things. Shortly after being convicted and sent down, he said, "I'm not suicidal." Not that that meant anything to anyone, but he did want to make a grand point that if anything happened to him in prison, in a county jail no less, then it was the fault of the courts, and totally not him, for fabricating a crime. A jury unanimously found him guilty on 5 out of 6 charges. It was while he was being sentenced, the defense said they will appeal this decision. It has been 6 days, and Jussie has just been released to appeal it. So I thought what we'd do is go through what happened from then to get us to here. First of all, a number of very well-known famous actors and actresses decided to stand up for Jussie Smollett by indicating that the conviction they found to be incredulous. This would include Samuel L. Jackson and Alfre Woodard, who calls Jussie Smollett her dear friend, who used to call her Mama Alfre, believing that she fears for his safety if he was put in jail. It is also believed the Reverend Jesse Jackson also sent a letter to the court. Jussie believes he's been made an example out of, which is why the sentence is so harsh. Yet, if you actually go and look at what the sentencing guidelines say, the minimum would have been 3 years. The judge was being very lenient with him. And as far as making an example goes, yes, he's the example. Don't lie in a fucking court, you complete milk. How about you don't fabricate a crime, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, wasting resources to investigate your fabricated crime? You still believe yourself innocent. You, Jussie Smollett, have been proven demonstrably guilty. And the arguments in the appeal will be the following. 1. The claim that the judge tried to assault the defense, which has been proven false already. The fact that the defense could not hand select some of the jury, which seems a tad peculiar to me, but you know what? It's not my place to criticize the system. I only abide and, of course, accept the outcome. Jussie also claimed that other low-level felonies like his are handled with no jail time, which is why I accept that in a trial, it is always means assessed based on the severity of the crime. And Jussie Smollett has shown not a single iota of remorse or guilt for what he did, still believing he did nothing wrong. Another actor who has stood up for Jussie would include his former co-star from Empire, Taraji P. Henson, who has said that my prayer is that he is freed and put on house arrest and probation, because the 150-day sentence does not fit the crime. I'm sure some people will in my comments do this, so I'm going to insert the comment now and let you all discuss it. What do you suppose would happen if Jussie Smollett was a white guy? Taraji P. Henson on her Instagram put out a post with hashtag #FreeJussie in the image. Underneath, she wrote, "I am not here to debate you on his innocence, but we can agree that the punishment does not fit the crime." She then continues on by making a false equivalence. This is why individual cases are means assessed. It's why there are so many discrepancies in statistics, because they are means assessed. How can you be so stupid? She does finish by saying, "No one in Hollywood will hire him, and again, as an artist who loves to create, that is prison. No, that's called unemployment. Prison is the place he was sent to. Well, county jail. I know some people in the comments of the last video told me that's not a real prison. Thank you for telling me that. I really appreciate the information because I'm not entirely sure, or wasn't entirely sure, what the key differences were. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox, who many have been asking for to resign because of how inept she is at her job, says that the justice system has failed the actor. Writing in the Chicago Sun-Times, she said that the court proceedings at this Thursday's sentencing amounted to mob justice and a politically motivated kangaroo prosecution. Can I just say for the sake of it, Chicago's Democrat. So what mob justice are you referring to? The hand that fed you, perhaps? Fox also defended her decision in the original charges and claimed that his prosecution could ultimately serve as a deterrent, to the next generation of prosecutors eager to fight for critical reforms, saying it pains me deeply to say that, in this particular case, our justice system failed. I couldn't disagree with you more, but that's mostly because I'm still surprised you have a job. On Sunday the 13th of March, Jussie Smollett's brother, whose name I'm not even going to pretend to know how to pronounce, Jockui, claimed that Jussie was moved into a psychiatric ward due to prison officials being concerned about his mental health. So he says he's not suicidal, but they're now worried about his mental health. In an Instagram video shared on Jussie Smollett's account, the brother said that Jussie is currently in a psych ward at Cook County Jail. What's very concerning is there was a note attached to his paperwork today on the front of his jail cell saying he's a risk of self-harm. Now I'm sure someone's going to say, he's doing it for attention. Others will say, it serves you right for what you did. My view is, he's now in the right place to ensure he is being properly assessed, to make sure that he does his time and he's also looked after. Generally, admitting one's guilt is a great step towards some kind of, removal of guilt and shame. It may well help your mental health. The brother continued by saying, I just want to make it clear to folks that he is in no way, shape or form. He wants to let folks know that he is very stable, very strong and healthy, and ready to take on the challenge that has ultimately been put up against him. This is not right. This is a complete lack of justice. It's angering, it's an outrage. But he also knows what he needs to do. He wants to make sure folks understand that whatever assumptions they may be making, I don't know why they even have him in a psych ward. We still have not gotten clear answers there. They've recently added to his documentation that he's at risk of harming himself. That is absolutely not true. How would you know? You're not in the prison with him, so you are making a number of assumptions. And by the way, if you now use this will be detrimental to his mental health as an excuse in your appeal, it will more than likely be thrown out. He's been proven of his guilt. You're now arguing semantics over the type of sentence when he could get a more severe one. You guys must have a lot of disposable money to be able to throw at these kind of things. On the 15th of March, Jussie Smollett is moved out of the psych ward and into another cell, after complaining that it was damaging his mental health, to then ask to be freed just 5 days into his sentence. With his brother saying that Jussie is now in a cell that actually has a bed, with his family claiming that he'd been sleeping on a restrained bed in a psychiatric unit. Part of me had wondered when you stood up and said, I'm not suicidal, if that was what led the jail to believe you were a possible risk. So for your own safety, because those are quite strange things to say, they acted, let's say, ahead of time. But it is only an assumption, it is not verifiable, at present anyway. That same brother also believes that the hashtag #FreeJussie is working. It's working, people. Oh, it's working! Congratulations on freeing your guilty by unanimous decision brother from a psych unit to a cell with a bed. Continuing on, Jussie's Instagram account has started posting some quite, let's say, fascinating posts, some of which are videos. I'm not going to play those, but I am going to read a quote. They want you to believe that although Jussie is half Jewish and a brilliant actor, writer, producer and director who has been in the entertainment industry his entire effing life and has access to all type of white people, that he was still dumb or arrogant enough to choose to cast 2 bodybuilding Africans to play the white MAGA supporting assailants in his fake hate crime attack video, that he wanted to go viral and bring him more attention and celebrity because being on Empire wasn't doing enough for him, his ego and his career. Continuing on, they're relying on you to disregard the neighbor who reported the suspicious white man with a rope hanging from his coat outside Jussie's home. They're counting on you to not give too much weight to the testimony of the security guard who was working nearby and said he saw Jussie getting up from the ground and a white man in a ski mask running away from the scene of the attack right after it happened. They're counting on you being dumb and gullible as hell and believing whatever BS they tell you to believe, but I'm counting on you not to. Jussie was attacked by white Trump supporters like he effing said he was. Then he was further victimized and framed by the Chicago PD. He is not safe inside Cook County Jail and quite frankly no one is. #FreeJussie, #FreeThemAll. In another post it says, you don't have to believe his innocence to believe he should be free. Thing is, if he's not innocent, he shouldn't be free. But I could be wrong, of course. The account is currently run by Jussie's family, and they're posting the same tired, regurgitated bollocks I doubt it will change anytime soon, but by all means continue on with your nonsensical arguments. Jussie's legal team asked for emergency release from jail as the family shared that they had received a threatening call to hurt the actor. I assume that because this is going to be appealed, this will have to be investigated thoroughly. They also argued that Smollett has been receiving vicious threats on social media, which no doubt reflects the hatred and wish for physical harm towards Smollett, which he may experience during incarceration. I'm now going to insert, whatever happens on social media while he's in prison means literal nothing. But of course, again, I could be wrong. I really could. I'm not, but I could be. And as far as the arguments about this video that they have shared go, it is now down to the prison to ensure then he is safe for his remaining time in that prison, or when he goes back. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, Jussie had for 6 days allegedly been surviving on ice because he refused food, so he was drinking ice water. He's not suicidal, folks, but he will starve himself on principle that he is innocent, even though he was found guilty on 5 out of 6 charges by a unanimous decision. Alright. On Wednesday, after an appeals court agreed with his lawyers that he should be free pending the appeal of his conviction for lying to police about a racist and homophobic attack, Jussie Smollett walked out of the Cook County Jail after spending 6 nights behind bars. He did not comment, but he was surrounded by security as he entered an SUV. Jussie's family are very happy with this decision, but Jussie's defense did say something. Let me make something clear. There is no room for politics in our court system, and our appellate courts in this great state do not play politics. I'd love to know what politics you are thinking of. I'm now looking forward to the appeal. I actually am, because if you fail, he goes back. So I'd love to know what arguments you're going to bring forward to try and get him off this. He was found guilty, so your only option is to find a way to reduce the sentence. That's going to be interesting. And of course, we will comment on that when it takes place. So do let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know this wasn't today's regular exhibition of stupid people, but let's face it, Jussie is his own stupid person anyway. As a final thing, I'm going to stream on Twitch tonight. I will have an EOSP on this channel tomorrow, which means this week at Twitter will be moved to Saturday or Sunday. I've yet to make up my mind on it. Hope to see you on Twitch. If I don't, have a great day and thank you all for listening.